This movie is so shit. So in the lead up to Spider-Man No Way Home, I've been doing some reflection on each version of Spider-Man that we've received so far. And I thought it was time for me to share with the world my biggest problem that I've ever had with any Spider-Man movie ever. And as you probably guessed, that just happens to be in The Amazing Spider-Man. Now, this movie, okay, I'm looking forward to seeing Andrew Garfield in No Way Home. I think it'd be really cool to see all three Spider-Men in one movie. That does make me happy. But that does not change the fact that I have a very serious issue with Andrew's first solo movie. And this is not a problem that I see talked about often enough, if at all, so I'm gonna do the best I can without losing my shit. And I know what you're probably thinking, and the answer is yes, I do hate the second one too, but everything there is to say about that movie has already been said. Everyone knows it sucks. Just look at this fucking goblin's face. I have nothing to add to this conversation. So, without further ado, let's get into the very particular thing that I hate most about The Amazing Spider-Man. Now, about 40 minutes into this movie, Peter comes home late at night and has a fight with Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben gets mad at Uncle Peter because he got distracted with a science project and left Aunt May to walk home alone or some shit. And I just said Uncle Peter, didn't I? I actually have an uncle called Peter, so let's move on from that. But this is not actually my problem, I'm just giving context to my problem. So, Uncle Ben gives Peter the classic pep talk about responsibility that you already saw in the first Sam Raimi movie, but it's a lot shitter.
He believed that if you could do good things for other people, you had a moral obligation to do those things. That's what's at stake here. Not choice, responsibility.
Yeah. So anyway, Peter gets upset because Uncle Ben brought Peter's dead dad into the argument, so he leaves the house all pissed off.
Peter, come back here, please.
So in the next scene, Peter's in a supermarket and he's trying to buy chocolate milk. And God help me, this is where my problem begins. The guy denies Peter his chocolate milk because he's 2 cents short, okay? He denies him his milk again when Peter tries to steal from a leave a penny jar, and he's being an asshole about it as well, and I know that's kind of the point, but he just really something about this guy just annoys me. He's just humiliating Peter over 2 cents in front of the guy waiting behind Peter, who for all we know could be a good guy. I'd grab a beer with this guy 100%. Anyway, like 5 seconds later we find out he's a thief. As Peter goes to leave the store, this man pushes some shit down behind the counter so the guy will bend down to pick it up, giving him the chance to reach over the counter and steal cash from the register. And he chucks Peter the chocolate milk, I guess as a sign of like, fuck that guy. I don't know, I'm a bit confused about that one. But Peter then leaves the store also having stolen something. And I hope, for the sake of what happens next, that chalky milk was the best thing that Peter ever tasted in his life. The thief runs across the street having stolen probably no more than like 100 or 200 bucks. And the cashier runs out screaming, "Stop that guy," you know, all that shit. And Peter obviously doesn't do shit about it, because who would? And the thief runs like 50 meters, 100 meters down the street. He finally trips in front of Uncle Ben, who was walking around looking for Peter this whole time, and he drops his gun. Uncle Ben sees it, okay? So he goes for the gun, even though that's the dumbest shit you can do in that situation. They fight over the gun, and the thief shoots Uncle Ben. And he dies! Now my first question here is, who the fuck comes up with this shit? Uncle Ben died over a chalky milk dispute. In the OG Spider-Man, it was over a money dispute, because Toby wanted a big paycheck to buy a car to impress Mary Jane, and he feels bad because he was talking shit to Uncle Ben like 10 minutes before he died, and, you know, whatever. That guilt haunts him for the rest of the fucking trilogy, right? In this movie, it all happens so quick and rushed, and it's literally over a bottle of chalky milk. I can't tell you how deeply this disturbs me. Who approved this? I'm gonna find the emails of every screenwriter, every producer, and every fucking Mark Webb of this movie and get answers. Because I even thought this was dumb back when I first watched this movie when I was 12, okay? Even the Wikipedia description of this scene pisses me off. And let me get something else straight just for the record, okay? I personally have nothing against chocolate milk. I love that shit. Who doesn't? It is my firm belief that everyone is entitled to chocolate milk. But there is a time and place for chocolate milk, and that time and place certainly is not in the most pivotal turning point in the movie, because not only does Uncle Ben die over chalky milk, but Peter literally becomes Spider-Man because of said chalky milk. I'm not joking. After Uncle Ben dies, he starts using his Spidey powers to hunt down criminals who look like they might be Uncle Ben's killer, and then he gets the idea to do it with a mask because one of the criminals says this.
I know what you look like! You hear me? I've seen your face!
So from there, Peter develops his costume and he becomes Spider-Man so he can avenge Uncle Ben. That's his sole motive for putting on the suit in the first place. And it's not until this dinner scene where he gets destroyed by Gwen Stacy's dad, by the way, that he finally realizes, oh shit, I should probably start using my powers for, a good reason. Because he knows deep down that Gwen Stacy's dad is right. So in this bridge scene where he saves that kid in the car, like past the halfway point of the movie, he actually makes that step. And so from that point on, we get to see a whole ass movie of Spider-Man fighting a fucking lizard creature, and it's all owed to the existence of that fucking bottle of chalky milk. In the almost decade since this movie came out, no one seems to be talking about this. No one! Now I have a lot of problems with this movie, not just this chocolate milk embarrassment. Don't get me started on this guy and his plans to turn all of New York into lizards. I don't know how he even walks around looking like that and gets away with it. But I just want to get this one, this problem off my chest because it particularly bothers me. And it bothers me because I like Andrew Garfield, and it kills me that he had to put up with this shit. I think he did a pretty good job with this poorly written role. When I disregard everything I've said in this video, I personally think he makes a good Spider-Man. Not necessarily Peter Parker, but as Spider-Man, I think is pretty entertaining to watch, and I don't think many people can disagree with me there. And I am looking forward to seeing him in No Way Home, but that does not change the fact that I have a very hard time forgetting that this version of Spider-Man sacrificed Uncle Ben for a bottle of chocolate milk. That's it. That's the video.